Need a blueprint to start your mobile notary business? Don't stumble through the process. You need an outline for success. Introducing the Mobile Notary Blueprint by Derek Spruill. Build your thriving mobile business and protect yourself from costly mistakes with expert advice. Buy your copy of the Mobile Notary Blueprint by Derek Spruill from any online bookstore, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble Bookstore, booksofmillion.com, bookshop.org, Mobile Notary by DerekSpruill.com, or download from Kindle and build your successful notary business today.
Welcome to Notary Knowledge. Imagine you're just sitting in a local bank branch, right?
Mm.
You're watching someone across the room hand over their driver's license.
Right, just a totally normal day.
Yeah, exactly. The person behind the desk, they glance at the ID, they pick up an ink stamp, and they just bring it down on a piece of paper with this loud thud.
And then the customer hands over a $10 bill and walks out.
Right. It is literally one of the most mundane, transactional, entirely forgettable errands you could possibly run.
It really is. I mean, it's viewed as this highly commoditized, centuries-old administrative task. Most people just see it as like a minor inconvenience.
Just something you squeeze in during your lunch break.
Exactly, yeah.
But so what if I told you that exact same action, verifying an identity and stamping a document, could actually be the foundation of a highly lucrative B2B consulting operation?
That's the wild part.
It is. So today we are looking at a really fascinating stack of sources. We've got industry guides, B2B marketing blueprints, specifically the Notary Jumpstart course materials, and some very eye-opening data from Real Trends and the National Notary Association.
And the data is just, it's mind-blowing because it reveals two completely different realities.
Yeah, tell them about the 80%.
Right. So on one hand, 80% of newly commissioned notaries do fewer than 10 notarizations, and then they just quit.
They just walk away.
Yeah, they make virtually nothing. But then there is this elite 5%. These high-volume loan signers are generating serious revenue.
Like how much are we talking?
Upwards of $97,000 a year. And they're essentially doing the same fundamental task as that person at the bank.
That is just wild. The divergence in those numbers is staggering.
It really is. You have one massive group treating this like, a passive hobby. They're just waiting around for someone to need a $10 stamp. But then you have this hyper-focused elite group. And they treat that exact same credential as a highly strategic risk mitigation service for the real estate and financial sectors.
Which totally shifts the dynamic.
Yep.
We've talked about similar mindset shifts in prior episodes, actually. But today, the mission here is to figure out the specific, almost surgical strategies these elite notaries use to become absolutely indispensable to real estate agents.
The savvy strategists, basically.
Exactly. We want to see how you listening right now can apply this exact same B2B mindset to your own career, no matter what field you are in.
So to understand how this elite 5% operates, we really have to look at the pressure cooker they are stepping into, which is the real estate closing.
Yes, the closing.
Exactly.
Because the modern real estate closing is it's an incredibly fragile environment.
Oh, absolutely. Standard brick-and-mortar title and escrow offices have these severe operational vulnerabilities.
Like what specifically?
Well, the most obvious is that they usually operate on a very rigid 9-to-5 schedule. But real estate transactions, they do not respect business hours at all.
No, they definitely don't. You have buyers working shift jobs or dealing with multi-state time zone disparities.
Right, and urgent contract deadlines that absolutely require legally binding signatures at, 8 o'clock at night or on a Sunday morning.
And the source has spent a lot of time talking about this concept of crunch time. What is the actual mechanic of that bottleneck inside a title office? I mean, why can't they just handle it themselves?
Well, think about the natural cycle of the calendar. Mortgages, rent cycles, financial reporting, it all tends to culminate at the very end of the month.
Oh, right. Everyone wants to close before the 1st.
Exactly. So a localized escrow branch, which, might only employ one single in-house notary, is suddenly hit with a tidal wave of closings in the final 4 days of the month.
Just totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, that one person is trying to clear titles, prepare hundreds of pages of documents, coordinate with county recorders, and somehow sit down with clients for hour-long signing appointments.
Which is physically impossible.
Right. When a complex commercial deal runs long, or, a buyer just asks too many questions, the entire daily schedule collapses. The in-house staff simply cannot manage simultaneous appointments.
And they're also strict conflict of interest policies at play here too, right? It's not just a scheduling thing.
Yeah, there are rules about who can actually apply that stamp. The internal regulations are incredibly strict.
Because the person preparing the escrow has a financial interest in it closing, right?
Exactly. Because they have a direct financial interest in the transaction funding successfully, internal title insurance policies frequently prohibit in-house staff from notarizing their own files.
Wow, okay.
And sometimes direct lender mandates enforce this too. It's just a basic anti-fraud measure. They absolutely require an independent third-party mobile notary to step in and act as a neutral witness.
So they literally have no choice but to outsource it.
None at all.
But let's raise the stakes here for a second.
Yeah.
Walk us through the financial cascade of a notarial error.
Oh, it gets ugly.
Let's say a mobile notary comes in. They're rushing, and they just, miss a single signature on page 42. Or they forget to write the date. What actually happens?
Well, a single missing initial or an illegible faint ink seal triggers a massive domino effect.
Just from a faint seal.
Yes. The document goes back to the lender's funding department, and their compliance software or review team flags the error.
Okay.
And because the document cannot be legally recorded at the county level with that error, the lender rejects the entire loan package. The whole transaction halts.
The clock just stops.
Well, the clock on the funding stops, but the clock on the buyer's mortgage interest rate lock keeps ticking.
Oh, no. That is a huge deal.
Right. When a buyer secures a mortgage, the bank guarantees that interest rate for a specific window of time. If that rate lock expires because the closing was delayed by a faint notary stamp, the buyer is suddenly exposed to market fluctuations.
And rates can jump drastically in just a few days.
Exactly. Forcing a rate lock extension can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000.
Okay.
And I promise you, the lender isn't going to eat that cost.
Somebody is paying for it, and it's going to make everyone furious.
Right. And in a worst-case scenario, if there is a major conveyance deficiency like failing to properly execute the deed itself, the original document is completely void.
So they have to start over.
Pretty much. A completely new deed has to be drafted, signed, and notarized again. That delays the transaction by weeks and can potentially invalidate the title insurance entirely.
It makes me think of packing a parachute for a skydiver.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, the skydiver is the real estate agent, the buyer, the seller. They're getting all the adrenaline. They're doing the exciting part, jumping out of the plane, popping the champagne for the $1 million home sale.
Right, they get all glory.
Exactly. But their very survival in that deal hangs entirely on the person on the ground who carefully folded the nylon and checked the cords. One twisted cord, one missed signature, and it's a financial catastrophe.
That is spot on. Elite notaries aren't selling a stamp, they are selling disaster prevention.
Disaster prevention. That's a great profit pivot. Being the save-the-deal notary is what earns that fierce loyalty.
Exactly. I'll take your parachute analogy a step further. The cost of hiring a specialized mobile signing agent is usually an upfront fee of around $150 to $200.
Which is nothing compared to the deal size.
Right. In the context of a parachute jump, that fee is the absolute cheapest life insurance policy you can buy to protect a transaction worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars.
That makes so much sense.
Preventing just one major recording error saves an agency thousands of dollars and, arguably more importantly, protects their reputation in a highly competitive market.
So if you are selling disaster prevention, who is actually buying? If I'm a rookie notary trying to break into that top 5%, my first instinct is probably to print out a stack of glossy resumes and just go knock on the door of every single title company in town.
And that instinct is shared by the 80% of notaries who fail.
Wait, really? Why?
The B2B marketing blueprints in our sources refer to this as the pipeline decision-maker fallacy.
The pipeline decision-maker fallacy. Okay, break that down for me. Why is targeting the title company a fallacy? They're the ones literally doing the closing.
Because title and escrow companies coordinate the physical closing process, but they function primarily as neutral stakeholders. They are just the middle of the pipeline.
I see.
The real flow of business is controlled by the front-end stakeholders, and that means top-producing real estate agents and mortgage lenders.
Because they're the ones bringing in the clients.
Exactly. The agent and the lender possess the direct trust-based relationships with the buyers and sellers. So when a deal is on the line, those front-end producers frequently dictate to the title company which specific mobile notary must be assigned.
They want their own trusted person to ensure their client has a flawless VIP experience.
Exactly.
That shifts the entire strategy. But how do you find those top producers? I mean, you can't just log on to a consumer site like Zillow and look for the agent with the most five-star reviews, can you?
No, definitely not. Consumer-facing portals are notoriously unreliable for B2B prospecting. They're heavily skewed by paid advertisements or just superficial review metrics.
So what do the elite notaries do?
They rely on objective transactional data. They pull reports from their local multiple listing service or MLS performance portals, or they use industry databases like Real Trends.
Okay, so they're looking at actual sales numbers.
Right. They completely bypass the average weekend warrior real estate agents and systematically target the top 10%.
And what does that top 10% look like numerically?
The data shows they target individual agents closing at least 15 sides, or roughly $6 million in volume annually. And if they are looking at real estate teams, the threshold is 40 sides, or $16 million.
Let me stop you there just to clarify the jargon for everyone. When you say size, you mean representing either the buyer side or the seller side in a single transaction.
Yes, exactly. A single home sale has two sides.
So why 15 sides? Why is that specific number the magic threshold for an individual agent?
15 transactions a year is generally recognized as the exact breaking point where an individual real estate agent can no longer handle their own administrative workload.
Oh, they're too busy to do the paperwork.
Right. At 15 sides, the sheer volume of compliance checks and scheduling begins to interfere with their ability to actually sell homes. They are forced to delegate.
Which means they aren't answering their own phone to schedule a notary for a Tuesday night closing. They have hired someone else to do it.
They absolutely have. And that brings us to the ultimate gatekeeper in this entire industry, which is the transaction coordinator.
The TC. So they are the ones actually running the machine behind the curtain.
The TC is the detail-driven, compliance-obsessed, administrative hub of a top real estate team. They manage every single piece of paper from the moment a contract is signed until the keys are handed over.
That sounds incredibly stressful.
It is. And what is particularly interesting in the source material is the professional overlap between TCs and elite notaries.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, many top-tier TCs hold advanced designations, like the Certified Transaction Coordinator credential. That takes over 17 hours of continuing real estate education to earn.
So they really know their stuff.
Oh, yeah. They deeply understand loan documents, complex compliance standards, and rigid escrow timelines.
So you definitely cannot just walk into an office, wave your $10 stamp around, and expect them to respect you. You have to speak their highly technical language.
Exactly. To win a TC's business, your operational standards have to mirror theirs. You must guarantee immediate appointment verification, flawless physical document return, and proactive courier tracking updates.
You have to be as obsessed with the details as they are.
Right. And perhaps most crucially, you have to prove you can handle secure digital file management.
Because of all the sensitive financial data.
Yes, federal data security standards, specifically the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, or GLBA, mandate exactly how financial data is handled. A professional notary cannot just use, like, an unencrypted personal Gmail account to receive loan packages.
Because it's full of social security numbers and bank details.
Exactly. If you demonstrate that you utilize encrypted GLBA-compliant portals, you immediately signal to the TC that you are a peer, not an amateur.
Okay, so we've identified the gatekeepers. We know these highly trained TCs are the ones making the call. But knowing who they are doesn't solve the problem of getting their attention.
That's true.
You can't just send a generic encrypted email and expect them to hand over $1 million closing. And let's be honest, nobody likes a cold pitch. So how do you physically get your foot in the door of a chaotic real estate office without being instantly labeled as an annoyance?
This requires a highly calculated physical outreach strategy. In real estate circles, it's known as the pop-by.
Just popping by the office. It sounds casual, but I'm guessing it isn't.
It is not casual at all. It has to be executed with extreme social intelligence.
Because you don't want to be that annoying salesperson.
Right. The greatest fear any mobile notary has when walking into an office is being perceived as an intrusive salesperson who is going to corner a busy TC and waste their time.
So how do you avoid that?
To proactively dismantle this friction, elite notaries use a psychological tactic called the keys in hand, or porch-first approach.
Keys in hand, meaning they literally walk in holding their car keys.
Yes. They keep their car keys prominently displayed in their hand the entire time. It is a brilliant piece of nonverbal communication.
Oh, I see where this is going.
When the receptionist and the TCs see the keys, it instantly signals that the notary is on a tight schedule, has an immediate destination, and absolutely will not trap them in a 20-minute sales pitch.
It lowers the office's defensive barriers before a single word is spoken.
Exactly.
I am stealing that.
Mm.
Next time I'm at a party and I get stuck talking to someone who won't stop talking about their cryptocurrency portfolio, I'm just going to hold my car keys up. Like, look, I'm busy, I'm successful, and I am leaving imminently.
It works in almost any social dynamic where you need to artificially constrain the interaction time.
That is so smart.
And in this B2B context, they pair that brief window of lower defenses with a small, high-utility or consumable gift, usually attached to clever marketing copy.
Yeah, the sources have a whole list of these, like dropping off a retractable metal tape measure with a tag reading, "My commitment to accuracy always measures up."
Yes, or a travel-size bottle of sunscreen that says, "Don't let clerical errors burn your deals."
One of them was even a small potted succulent with a note saying, "My business grows thanks to amazing partners like you."
It might sound a bit cheesy on the surface, but the underlying psychology is incredibly sound.
How so?
Well, a tape measure stays on a desk or gets tossed into a glove box for years, creating persistent, passive visibility. A succulent sits on a windowsill for months. It triggers the psychological law of reciprocity without feeling like a heavy-handed, aggressive sales pitch.
Okay, I have to push back here for a second.
Sure.
Holding your car keys is a great psychological trick, and dropping off sunscreen is definitely memorable. But wait, you were telling me a real estate team doing $16 million in volume is going to trust me with a massively complex legal transaction just because I handed the gatekeeper a mini cactus.
You are right to be skeptical because the gift itself does not prove competence. The gift is essentially a Trojan horse. It gets you through the fortified gates with a smile. But what actually conquers the room, what proves you are that parachute packer we talked about earlier, is the credential package you leave behind with that succulent.
Ah, the paperwork.
Yes. Elite notaries compile a highly polished physical binder. It contains tangible proof of their state commission, their National Notary Association background screening, and an active surety bond.
So they're leaving behind hard proof of their qualifications.
Exactly. It also includes a detailed geographic service map, proving they offer 24/7 coverage in the exact zip codes that specific real estate team serves.
And the insurance. The insurance numbers in the sources really jumped out at me.
That is the ultimate closer right there. They provide a certificate of high-limit errors and omissions, or E&O insurance.
Which is huge.
Right. While your average hobbyist notary at the bank might carry a state minimum policy of $5,000 or $10,000, these professional B2B notaries carry E&O policies ranging from $100,000 to a full $1 million.
$1 million in liability insurance just to stamp a piece of paper.
When you connect this back to the nightmare scenario of the expired rate log or the voided title insurance, $1 million policy makes perfect sense.
Because it covers any possible mistake.
Exactly. It completely insulates the title company, the mortgage lender, and the real estate brokerage from financial liability if a catastrophic clerical error occurs.
It tells the transaction coordinator, not only am I meticulous, but if the unthinkable happens, your entire firm is financially protected.
Right. The cactus makes them smile, but the $1 million policy makes them hire you.
Wow. So the physical pop-by builds the human trust, and the credential package proves the technical competence. But to truly solidify your status as an indispensable partner, it seems like you have to be able to solve impossible logistical nightmares too.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be the ultimate problem solver.
Right, because you can't insure against space and time. Think about these real-life scenarios we see all the time. Like you've got David in Ohio, right? He has a broken arm.
Yeah, he literally cannot sign physical papers.
Or Jessica in Florida dealing with an elder mobility issue where she can't leave her house.
Right. Or Marcus in New Jersey handling complex foreign documents.
Exactly. And Elena in Texas who needs total privacy for a high-profile transaction. Or Kevin in Washington stuck with a frustrating DMV ID issue. A physical pop-by doesn't help anyone in those scenarios. So what happens?
Historically, those scenarios would cause a massive stressful delay. It would require overnighting thick stacks of physical documents across the country, crossing your fingers, and hoping a notary didn't make a technical error that would result in a rejection 3 days later.
Just a total nightmare for the TC.
But today, the top 5% of elite notaries use technology as a massive competitive differentiator. Specifically, a framework called Remote Online Notarization, or RON.
remote online notarization. How does that practically function when you are dealing with rigid county recording laws?
Elite signing agents master highly compliant, secure platforms like Proof or OneNotary to execute what is known as a hybrid e-closing.
So they do it all digitally.
Yes. So, for example, the buyer sitting in their living room logs into a secure audio-video platform. The specialized notary uses knowledge-based authentication and credential analysis to verify the buyer's identity digitally.
Okay, so it's totally secure.
Right. They witness the digital signatures in real time over the video feed and then apply a cryptographically secure digital notarial seal.
So they completely eliminate the geographic bottleneck in real time. That solves the issue for David with his broken arm, or Jessica who can't travel.
Precisely. Rather than viewing technological automation as a threat to their job security, the top tier leverages it. They solve remote signing challenges for out-of-state buyers or even international investors, accelerating transaction times from days down to minutes.
And the sources emphasize that this technological edge isn't just about the act of notarizing online. Modern notaries have to be incredibly visible digitally to capture the business in the first place.
Digital visibility is the safety net for those panic moments. Imagine a real estate agent realizes at 7 p.m. on a Friday that an addendum needs to be signed immediately to save a deal.
They are not at their desks searching through a physical Rolodex.
No, they are in their car, frantically searching on their phone. Elite notaries invest heavily in local search engine optimization. They maintain fully optimized Google business profiles that broadcast their 24/7 availability and highlight their specific loan signing credentials.
And they digitize the networking process, too. I loved the detail about digital business cards in the source materials.
Traditional paper business cards handed out at open houses or real estate mixers are almost immediately misplaced or thrown away.
I know I lose them all the time.
We all do. So elite notaries use digital business card platforms like Blink. During a brief 2-minute interaction with an agent, they just have the agent scan a QR code on their phone screen.
And it just goes straight into their phone.
Exactly. The notary's contact information, their high-limit credential summary, and real-time booking link are instantly saved directly to the agent's smartphone contacts.
So when that Friday night panic sets in, the solution is literally already sitting in the agent's pocket.
That is the ultimate goal of the elite tier. You are no longer providing a localized errand service. You have positioned yourself as the integrated emergency backup system for a high-volume business.
This is a total masterclass in repositioning value. We started this looking at a massive disparity. 80% of notaries fail, almost immediately, while a select top tier thrives, building businesses that generate nearly 6 figures.
It's all about strategy.
Yeah. The difference isn't that the top 5% have a better quality ink pad. The difference is a complete paradigm shift. They move from a passive, transactional hobbyist mindset, waiting for $10 to walk through the door, to a proactive, B2B relational model.
Exactly. They understand that they aren't selling ink on paper. They are selling speed, absolute accuracy, and risk mitigation to highly stressed professionals.
They stop cold calling neutral title companies and instead use data to target the top 10% of real estate producers. They learn the highly compliant language of transaction coordinators.
They break the ice with smart psychology, prove their worth with million-dollar insurance policies, and use digital platforms to completely remove geographic friction.
When you look at all those moving parts, it really is a sophisticated consulting model masquerading as an administrative task.
It really is. And if you are listening to this right now, whether you work in tech, human resources, marketing, or logistics, think about your own industry.
You likely operate within a larger system that has its own bottlenecks, its own end-of-month crunch times, and its own highly stressed gatekeepers.
Right. What is your equivalent of the ink stamp?
Exactly. What is the thing you do that everyone assumes is just a commodity, but if it goes wrong, the whole project crashes?
If you can identify the exact vulnerabilities and financial fears of the decision makers in your field, just like the elite notary identifies the fear of a ruined REIT lock, and package your specific skills as the ultimate insurance policy against those fears, you instantly elevate your value.
You stop competing on price, and you start competing on risk mitigation.
That's the secret.
I love that framing. Well, if you want to dive deeper into these strategies, we highly encourage you to buy the Notary Knowledge books by Derek Spruill and visit the Notary Knowledge website.
Definitely check those out.
And please remember to rate the show, subscribe, and share this with others who might find it valuable. Also, email your questions to Derek at derekspruill.han.com. We will try to answer as soon as possible at the end of our shows.
We always love hearing from you.
Big thanks to our team. Executive producer Derek Spruill, lead writer Marylyn Trotter, graphics by Montes Travis, music by Thomas Bynum, and produced by Magnificent Works Business Solutions. Don't just be listeners of the knowledge, be doers of the knowledge. This is Notary Knowledge. Until next time.
Have a great one, everyone.
Here is a final thought to mull over. If a highly standardized, centuries-old administrative task like notarization can be transformed into a premium, six-figure consulting service simply by repositioning how and to whom it's offered, what commodity skill in your own professional toolkit could be completely repackaged as a high-stakes premium solution?
Are you looking for an edge, flexible income, and immediate professional respect? Discover the hidden opportunity of becoming a public official with the book, Becoming a Notary by Derek Spruill. This beginner's guide provides the universal roadmap to launch your new career. You will learn the core mission of deterring fraud, the essential tools of the trade, and exactly how to protect yourself while building a respected business. Get your copy of Becoming a Notary on Amazon, and step into a rewarding profession.